Hi everyone, in today's video we'll be going over the onboarding module and how you can create task types, set up events, and create tasks. So let's jump right into the onboarding module. So as you can see here, we have task types, events, and employee tasks. Let's begin with task types. So a task type is in very basic terms. It's a task that you can keep reusing or you will need to keep creating for different onboarding events. So for example, uh, allocate assets, create email IDs, create Orange HRM user accounts. So these are tasks that you will need to keep doing whenever you hire a new employee. Therefore, it makes sense to create a task type that you can simply use to recreate tasks. So a task type is very simply a template that you can keep reusing. All right, so these are some very good examples of task types. So to create a task type, just click on the Add Task Type button on the top right here, which will give you this screen where you can enter in a task type. So I don't know, you just say provide, and all right. So I mean, just as an example, this is a task type that I'm going to create. You can set a notification as well, but which I'm not going to do for this one. You can set a default owner. So in most cases, a task type or a task will be it's very specific to one or two people. So you can set participant. I'm sorry, you can set an owner for this task. So an owner is someone who is responsible for the completion of a task. All right, so let's set Anthony as the owner of this specific task type. You can set up his email as well. Say Anthony. All right. Okay, so that's a very simple example of a template that you've created or a task type, and it should be listed there now. All right, so now that we've created a task type, let's go in and create an event. All right, so an event is all right, so here are some examples, right? So you can set up an event in this manner where you have an intake of maybe new hires who've joined the company, and you need to conduct certain onboarding activities to get these employees onboarded. You can also set up very specific events like this one here, laptop change or even resignation. So this module can also be used to um, offboard employees and to pretty much handle any kind of task tracking, right? Not necessarily only onboarding. It can also be used for other kinds of task tracking. So let's go and create an event here. So I'm going to say, all right, new hires. All right, and set location as well. You can say New York. So this is the name of the event. I'm going to set the location as well, so New York sales office. Due date is the date by which this event, so an event can consist of one or more tasks. All right, so a due date is the date by this event, the date that this event needs to be closed off or needs to be completed by. So let's set the due date for the end of the month, 31st of March, and the participant. So the participant is, this is where you can set your or add the employees who've, in this case, new hires. So the new hires who've joined the company. So let me just go and add in any of the new hires. So let's say Nina and Nikki. So the system will only display the employees in the location that you select. All right. So each event is very specific to a single location. All right. So you can only select from the available list, and the owner is the employee who is responsible for the completion of this event. All right. So in most cases, that will be your HR manager or even maybe your general head of department, for example. So in this case, the sales team, so it might be the head of sales. This is the person responsible for making sure that Nina and Nikki get onboarded. So let's go ahead and add Anthony as the event owner and save. All right, done. So now that we've created an event, we can now go in and activate it. So there's an activate button at the bottom here. And once you activate an event, you will be given a pop-up window where you can now select from the available lists of tasks. So these are the task types, the screen that we were on just a few minutes ago. And you can see all the available task types that you can select from. So let's go ahead and select the one that I set up, provide laptop and mouse, as well as orientation, IT training, and perhaps Orange HRM accounts. Okay, so let's go ahead and select those, and then you'll see a generate tasks button here, which I will click on. And you get a message that will let you know that these are the 4 kinds of tasks that you're creating for this specific event, which I am okay with. So let's generate. Okay, task successfully generated. I will now be taken into into the task screen, employee task screen, which is where I will be shown all the available tasks for this specific event. So this is the new hires March 2017 New York sales team event with the 2 new hires, Nina and Nikki. These are the available, or these are the tasks that have been created now. So there's 1 task for each participant. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 tasks in total. Well, in total 8 tasks, but since there are 2 participants, that's basically 4 task types. And we have the task owners set as well. So each task has an owner. All right. So Russell is responsible for the creation of user accounts. Linda is responsible for IT training. Russell again responsible for orientation. And Anthony is responsible for, his responsibility is to provide laptops, a laptop and a mouse to each of the 2 new hires. All right. Essentially, once the tasks are created, the employees can now, the owners can now go into the system, have a look at what tasks have been assigned to them, and once they've completed the task, they can actually go in, have a look at the description. Maybe there's a very specific description of what needs to be done. And once they provide whatever it is, in this case, it's a user account. That's the name of the task. So once they complete that task, they can go in here and edit. All right, and say, all right, you know what? The task is now completed. And they can put a date. Right, I'm sorry, this is, so this is a notification, but they can say at the bottom, they can say complete, and that would basically change the status of this task to complete. There's also a mark incomplete button here, which can be selected if a task is not completed. So you can see now that this task has been completed by Russell, all right, and Nina has now received her user accounts. So this has to be done. Obviously, the task needs to be completed. And once it is completed, the owner can update the task sheet. All right. There's also the ability to filter. So if you're an admin or you have access to all areas of the system, you should be able to view all available tasks. So I can reset this. And you can see here there's quite a number of tasks. It makes sense to filter by event or filter by owner, or even filter by status to see what tasks are complete, what percentage of tasks are incomplete. All right, so you have that option here in the top right where you can filter. So let's say I want to see all tasks that are still incomplete. In the new hires March event, so I can search, and that's the list of tasks. Yeah. There's also the ability in this module to set up reminders, which as you can see here, if I just edit. All right, so there's a due date, and there's a notified before 4 days before the due date. The owner of this task, Russell, he will get an email, so that's his email. He will get an email letting him know that he has to complete this task before the date that's rapidly approaching, the due date that's rapidly approaching. And that's how the system will remind owners that they need to complete their tasks in time. And that's pretty much it. So the onboarding module is basically a place where administrators or event owners can keep track of various events and tasks to make sure that employees are onboarded properly or offboarded properly, and to make sure that everything happens within the time set.
Thank you for watching today's training video. If you want to know more, contact us at info@orangeatrium.com or visit our website for more information.